Welcome to another match analysis video. Today's match is another one from our CMD playtest. This is actually our third match of the session. The one you previously saw was our first match. The second match we won in a similar fashion to the first one, not quite as efficiently, but still by a very extreme margin. So for this third match, we decided to all try to hop teams and see if we couldn't win it on the other side. Now the central theme of this video is going to be my philosophy around macro level plays versus micro level plays. Most of my squad leading tutorials tell you to focus very, very strongly on macro level plays and pretty much ignore anything relating to the micro game to some extent. There's little things that you can reach in and manipulate fairly easily, but for the most part, if you're putting all of your energy into improving your squad's micro game, improving how well they fight in firefights or how well they manage to, hit vehicles with lats or get revives or maintain a decent KD through communication or positioning. Trying to do these things is going to take a ton of your focus, and with your average Blueberry squad, your results are going to be, at best, minimal. Now, rather than taking this at face value and limiting my effect on the match overall as an SL by acknowledging the fact that as long as I'm working with random players, I'm never going to have complete control over how well they can do, I went the complete opposite route and attempted to do everything in my power to win games regardless of the fact that I may very well be put with a below average team in a majority of circumstances. Because of this, all of my last several thousand hours and years of playing squad have brought me into this philosophy that macro game is everything and micro game can effectively be ignored in a majority of situations. Now this philosophy would fall apart in the comp scene. This philosophy is obviously heavily debated by people who value their micro game skills, and I'm not saying that micro game is useless. I'm just saying that it's not something you can really put energy towards as a pub SL and actually hope to get fantastic results from. But regardless, I want to take a look at this match in particular because this is a great example of the shortcomings of this style of thinking and the difficulties with the strategies that I try to teach in my videos. This is a CMD playtest, meaning I have complete control over everything that happens at a strategic level, and everything has been thought of in advance, and everything in this match is pretty much done the way I would expect it to be done, or would wish for it to be done. And yet you're going to see this match not go 100% according to plan, and I'm going to break down why as we get into it.
I'll see y'all later.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Russian? We're supposed to be on Russians?
But I'm gonna create inf 2 for you.
What?
The
Okay,
switch
we're supposed to be
is
militia,
irregular,
yeah?
irregular,
Never mind.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be
Switch
militia.
team is irregular, okay, cool.
Oh, fuck.
Hello, hello.
Nah, we're chilling, we're chilling.
Oh,
Logi plus Techie.
Double Corey.
was that
Or-
intentional?
That's good.
Will you grab the Techie egg?
You kicked me.
Oh.
Oof.
That was not intentional. I tried to FTL you. Sorry.
I believe A.
Does the enemy team have a healer?
Oh
What
man.
if we have an AT?
Alright, hop in
an
guys.
AA?
We're grabbing one small Logi, one Techie. Try to grab a Techie that doesn't matter much, like a Dishka.
Because we're a third world nation army.
No,
that's what you do.
One Dishka. Approved tech.
Sorry, Goose.
Yo, dude.
All good.
Hey,
We got one.
this is
Logi?
your mum gay.
Allahu Akbar.
You can grab the Rupert.
Boxes on
Like
the
that from
back.
us.
Oh,
If you
they
didn't
did.
get Techie.
What are these
Let's
water
grab
coolers?
the fucking Zeus. I need most people in with me though.
Zeus.
One more person in with the Logi so I can fill it up. Yeah, midpoint's Crucible. You two are gonna have to split Crucible. I would do a north fob, south fob like this somehow. It's usually pretty good.
You're actually gonna come Logi since I got a hat
I'm
rocket.
going warehouse. It has to be counter rushed.
Who am I splitting it with?
Friendly reminder, there are bikes, by the way.
Corey.
And I'll send
one for fortification backup.
Who am I splitting Fortress with, or Crucible with? Splitting with me again.
Didn't want me. Yeah, them hobs all on.
Here's me.
Is my squad in this fucking
But-
thing?
Copy that, but which one you want, north or south?
Maybe.
Get out. Nope. Yeah, wrong one.
Alright,
Dick.
our plan. I'm talking to the wrong chat.
Great. Amazing.
Candelus, you have to hop in the other Vic.
Oh,
Green on the
shit
map.
now, yeah.
Get in.
Axel, you have a mic, yeah?
Ooh, I got the guns.
Yep, I do.
Okay, take this
Sick.
road here and drop somebody off at Armory, please,
Yep.
and then swing over to Fortification.
Copy.
You're gonna grab the first two back caps.
Alright.
Everybody else were rushing the warehouse. Just like last time, I'm playing a squad 1, which means I'm responsible for backcaps, counter-rushing, and then reacting to however the midpoint goes. So I would have rather had something fast like a Dishkoteki, but we were only able to get the Zeus, but I'm going to send him through the first backcap. Another squad offered to get the second one, but I'm going to send my Zeus there just in case, and then I'm going to go counter-rush warehouse.
Logi squad cannot move.
If you guys are in the Zeus over there, just drop one person to armory, whoever has an expendable kit, probably Candless, and then everybody else is going to fortification and just chill.
Run out of space on the truck.
Warehouse is a very easily rushable flag, so I am going fully into counter-rushing here, taking a majority of my squad there, in a logistics-capable vehicle, and building a fob there off game start, which is all a huge dedication of resources. Traditionally, on a more linear map where we're less likely to get rushed on a back-hap, you want to have all three lodges going forward pretty far, but in this instance I am quite afraid of warehouse getting pushed, so I am going to take the maximum amount of precautions. This is not common, and I would not do this on most layers. Most layers I would be going to either support the mid directly until it's full capped, or loiter around in the correct areas to be ready for whatever happens to the mid. But I'm not going to risk that right now with warehouse as easily rushable and as commonly rushable as it is, so that is where I'm heading immediately off game start. The other issue here is that because we have two other squads going to the mid, I can feel fairly confident that we're going to take it. It's two people who know how to build decent fobs and know how to get people to push aggressively, so I also have to be ready to immediately go up to quarry after the fact. So as SL1, you have a lot on your plate. Once you get to warehouse, just get east as quickly as you can to counter any Vics they're bringing in. I need one person to stay to build. And I need that same person to stay in cap range as well.
I'll come back to you boys eventually. Sorry about that bit of a rough start there. I'm in some other vehicle now.
Nice driving.
Simply the best bug
Hey, thanks.
I've ever encountered. Accidentally hot micing while pissing, even though I don't have my hand on the keyboard.
I'm just glad we could all experience it together.
I hate you, Captain.
We all know you just have a thing for that.
Oops.
No, negative.
Alright, dump 200 build, please, whoever's next to the truck.
Oh, thank you, dude. Fucking shit.
One BTR coming down railroad.
I'll range you when you're ready.
I'm just gonna shoot him in the ass if he passes me.
Okay.
One hat rocketing him. One logic came in, hit me. He's on rocks, run.
Okay, everybody push that lodge. Oh, is he dead?
Enemy logi coming in, enemy logi coming in. Enemy logi by the
not logi,
BTR.
Tiger. It's Tiger. Full squad on it though.
Okay, everybody push that as fast as possible. Move Mark, put the pressure on him quick.
Hit it.
The logi's just west of my body.
Yo, dig this ammo up. I need this. Thank you.
Take the respawn, push it fast. This is problematic. Pink, can I get you on a stealth cap, like external, in the cap range, prone, totally away from everyone else? I don't think they're actually going to hold. So what you're seeing right now is a great example of a good micro-level play. I am currently asking my clan member to go full into stealth cap mode. This doesn't just mean value your life, play a little bit cautiously and stay within cap range. This means he's actually going to go northwest outside of the building into a bush on the edge of cap range and play dead while everybody else continues to do everything else. So that in the event that the firefight doesn't go in our favor, which, as I've mentioned in the past, I always assume will be the case, we at least have a stealth capper. Similarly, right now I am also going to quickly drive back to main, pick somebody up who dies, and then go build a second fob just outside and stretch a hab a little bit closer, so that if that hab falls, which, as I said, I always expect will happen whenever I'm playing with blueberries, I have an alternate option. In an ideal microplay world here, people would just be pushing the hell out of that contact and winning firefights and gaining ground, but I am going to compensate for imperfect micro with better macro if I can as the SL by getting the secondary fob up. Now the luxury that I have here that you won't have if you're leading a blueberry squad is that I can just ask my clanmate for a stealth cap and they know what that means. If that wasn't the case and I was leading a full blueberry squad, I would have to actually explain that full concept to somebody, hope that they'll actually listen and do it, and ultimately that's just a lot of energy and a lot of trust being put into a random player. So you can see here that I'm kind of doing it both ways. I'm trying to organize a decent microplay and I'm trying to organize a decent macro play in the event that the microplay doesn't work out.
Enemies west and right in weapons.
Keep spawning and pushing it. Hap will probably be proxied soon, try to get one last spawn off before that happens. Pink is prepared for stealth cap.
Yeah, warehouse isn't looking good. Looks like we're gonna lose it.
I'm trying to stealth cap it, I have one guy hiding. Okay, if you're down, spawn main. And hop in the logi.
5 seconds on spawn.
I'm coming to warehouse.
Don't worry about it yet, I think my guy will stealth cap it fine.
Oh shit, what's your clan?
I'll go
tag,
back
bro?
as well. Keep focusing
Big
where you're at, I'll let you know if I
homosexual
need help.
Need a
Always.
warehouse too.
G's up, bro.
Me and a lot of miscreants.
Later, loser.
We
Totally could have waited for him, I think.
We could have.
Yeah, of course we could.
I wasn't paying attention.
Dude. Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, I killed about
Yeah,
fucking 11 of them bitches over there, bro. I swear to God, the whole team was over there.
Hell yeah, dude.
At
I
warehouse.
killed 3 vehicles.
Yeah, dude.
Enemy
They got
logic coming to
massacred on
Crucible.
that
Yeah,
road.
which guy? 7?
Of course, he's just laying out there.
They took the point, but they took some heavy losses and tickets.
We're not gonna be able
Well,
to
we
get
can
Corey
stealth
top
cap
down.
it,
We're
so
taken
as
down
long
by
as
some
Pink
kind of
stays
music.
alive, he's hiding
Yeah, I
in
just
the
wanted
bush,
to get to the
doesn't
top of
matter.
that hill when
I'm
there's a
gonna drop
guy
a
there.
radio here though, just in case.
Yeah, it happens.
Alright.
Okay, somebody dump 200 supply in the truck, please. Somebody else follow me.
Did the squad lead drive past us? What the hell?
How much did you say to dump?
200 build, and then about half the ammo.
Done.
The guy's in armor, you guys are gonna have to run.
They have it.
Unit and candles, I'm gonna pick you up in the truck.
I'm gonna unload and steal your logic.
Thank you.
So the midpoint is the most important objective, not just because it's usually towards the center of the map and gaining map control off game start is good, but because it's the first cap that can be contested in terms of actually being captured. Pink sitting in a bush is currently negating everything the enemy throws at warehouse. Mid seems clean, yeah?
Crucible seems good. We're pretty fucked up at quarry.
I'll hit Corey, I'll worry about that. Warehouse should be stealth capped soon. What's your progress, Pink?
About 75%.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go set up for Quarry. Warehouse is gonna get stealth capped, we're good on Crucible. This is why I don't tend to send a lot of people to back caps, even if it's incredibly easily rushable. That's why I feel like I can handle it with just one squad. All you need to do is make smart plays from smart directions with awareness about cap range, not actually beat the enemy that's there. If you're stalling Gamma, that's nice. The Blueberry squad that also pushed were a decent distraction, but ultimately I could have used them more in other areas generally because of the ease of the stealth cap.
Warehouse 2 seconds.
Nice. Go ahead and push the contact at warehouse, and then when you die, hold spawns. I'm gonna go be building for quarry. We're pushing off to there. So just push the contact and get ready to respawn.
Wait, what happened? Why are you driving back?
I just want to take the west road. It's dangerous as fuck to go dead on. So for most of this drive, I'm talking to my blueberries and trying to make sure that everybody pushes contact, is ready for a respawn at quarry, and will be there the moment I get my fob down, which could be a bit challenging, but fortunately people are listening and I have a pretty alright squad. But now we can start to see some of the struggles of being Squad 1 in this kind of a system. Squad 2 and 3 only have one objective to focus on off game start, and I have to be flexible depending on how the match goes as a whole. And the fact that I have to counter rush is going to make me a little bit late on my next responsibility, which is reacting to the mid, which in this case is obviously leapfrogging over it to try to be ready on Quarry the moment it's capable. So Warehouse is going to work against my timing, and then Mestia in general is going to work against my ability to get there. Linear maps like Mestia really work against my playstyle, and they're generally some of my weakest ones when it comes to actually SLing. You guys probably know my main philosophy of no matter what's happening, there's a hab that can be built that will resolve it, and that's generally how I try to take flags. I build fobs for distractions, I build fobs for flanks, I build fobs to encourage blueberries to go to the right places, and I build fobs to capitalize on where I think the enemies are and if they're not paying attention to particular areas. Now on a map like Mestia, I only have a couple of options. I still try to abide by this playstyle. I'm still not trying to fight my way through at one angle. I still want to flank. But in the end of the day, my options for that are incredibly limited. Now I still find my ways to get around, and as you can see, I'm taking a fairly creative map border approach that not many people ever try to use, that I'm quite proficient with because I do it all the time. And in the end of the day, this usually will get done what I need to get done. This will allow me to build a fob at any area around Quarry that I need, but it is insanely easy to counter.
Wow, Squad 4 is doing work.
Alright, get ready for the spawn. Go ahead and dump everything on the truck. As far as fobs go, this one's really sneaky, but you only get one good push off of it before you're entirely camped into it. So once you spawn, hold your fire until you end the objective.
Well, they're not capping Quarry, so we have time. The cap Quarry,
Get one guy to sneak in,
I'm trying to grab the truck and get out of here.
Keep an eye out for a flank, Mason.
Unit, can you guys build the hab?
Oh yeah guys, grab shovels, build the hub. It's on mark, it's the stakes. South
Dang, there's a bunch of guys. Oh shit. I was gonna say they were all turning around.
Sorry about that, Squad Lead. We're just a little bit retarded.
All good. I'm a little bit retarded myself.
Are these supplies going to Quarry or Gamma?
You stick with me, Pink.
Where needs them the most?
Enemy Vic on Gamma, 45.
Cap, you want me to have my squad move on foot to Quarry?
Yeah, I can deliver.
Focus defense for now, I'll let you know if I need you.
Alright, not much happening here, just letting you know.
Sounds good. Alright, push Quarry. One good push. Try to get into that fence before you open up. If you see someone and they don't see you, don't shoot them. Try to stay somewhat low profile, low ground, single file-ish. Are you there, Pink?
We're spotted.
Too late for that. Too late for that.
Yeah, you're good. Just go live.
Towards us already.
So I don't know how people were spotted. I don't know if somebody was on the objective looking north or if somebody caught us as we were going along the north border and knew that we were there, but they are already pushing us. And you guys know from what I have just said that I consider this to be a lost firefight. The closer you can get to an objective before firing, the more likely you are to capture it, and this is basically the opposite of what I want. We're caught almost halfway there, but not quite halfway there, and I have a predominantly blueberry squad, so now I have to start thinking about how I can utilize this to accomplish something else, because I am no longer going to try to force this to capture the objective. That's just not my style of gameplay. I'm going to look at how I can use it from a macro perspective as a distraction to come in from a new angle. I'm not going to try to sit there and stubbornly pursue the same angle and attempt to make people fight better to actually gain ground. Hop in, Pink, we got a flank. Hop out. There's a fucking guy on our radio.
I was shooting that guy so many fucking times, but he's fucking one shots, man. What the hell?
So this probably answers my question about how they knew we were here. I probably drove past that guy on the West Mountain and now he's coming back. As I said, my move here was extremely easy to counter and it has been countered by a good defense. Now I'm in the worst situation I possibly can be. I'm out a truck.
You know if that changes. Sorry, I couldn't hear you in game.
Dang, there was no hope of us taking that. It was just on Mazer. There's a full squad on there.
Fucking west of Gamma. You've got a whole squad moving towards Crucible.
Got an NG on
Oh, fuck. Lamau.
Pink, try to get with me to truck. Everybody else go south. Spawn up above.
Camped hard.
Yellowish brown brick house. I think that's the name there.
They must have heard us drive by.
Must have. Let's see if we can GTFO.
Yeah, sorry about that other one. I was taking a piss.
You're good. We're gonna climb into the MG line of sight. I'm just hoping he's busy.
Don't spawn in F2. There's a guy camping there.
Alright,
Yeah, use rally as long as you can. We're gonna lose that fob 100%. Just distract him as long as you can.
Those guys got there pretty fucking fast. Yeah.
Rally's 15 seconds.
One of them saw us and called us out. They were pushing us already. Mortar fob ahead.
I thought we were being sneaky. I guess we weren't sneaky enough.
Yeah, someone saw us. Building a new one here when that one goes down. Okay, Mazer, if you have dead and you want to shift them east of Quarry, I could use more spawners at the time.
Copy that.
Look at 2 go. Squad 2, that is absolutely fucking
Jack,
beautiful.
move right there.
They're all north right now, proxying by fob. They'll come back to you, but excellent play. I'm a little bit erect. That timing. Beautiful. They're on half. Alright. 2 just dive bomb their hab. You might even be able to save the north one now.
Crucible defense.
So at this point in time, I'm actually very confident. What I've just done is what I traditionally do when my first offense fails, which is build a second fob, use the first one as a distraction, and then try to go for their fob in the inside if they have an internal fob, and essentially trade. What's happening is you're both taking each other's fob out at the exact same time, but in the end, you're still going to have one left over, and hopefully they aren't. Now when 2 dive bombed in there, they worked perfectly with our timing because everybody's out north proxying and attempting to take down my fob, and then they are going in and immediately proxying their fob while I'm still building the spawn for the spawn advantage. This is such a bold play that it might actually give us what we need in order to save our north fob and have a complete spawn advantage over them. Meanwhile, I'm aware that there's a fob to our southeast, which I just died to somebody from, that was shooting mortars, and because this is what I assume now to be the only unproxied fob near Quarry, I imagine a bunch of people are going to start spawning there, so I'm going to start pushing that personally with Pink to try to take it out, or at least try to block some people. Unfortunately, while this is happening, Squad 2's remaining people die, and so we lose our proxy on the internal fob, and a BTR rolls up on our east fob simultaneously and destroys the truck I had there, so we end up going from a really good position to a kind of mediocre position pretty much immediately. And so very quickly we go from a situation where we had 2 active spawns pushing in on an enemy spawn which was already proxied while the enemy spawned to the southeast in a slightly irrelevant area that could potentially be blocked, to having 2 active spawns against 2 active spawns, both of which have to contend with each other. So now I have 2 priorities. The first thing I want to do is take care of that BTR, and then the second thing I want to do is attempt to take care of that southeastern fob so that we can go back to using 2 fobs to push in their centralized fob and attempt to stealth proxy it.
We got a BTR at our eastern fob. One BTR down.
Nice kill.
Second one's camping it though. Might be scout car, I'm not sure.
Say something in Discord, Krieger.
Once you're at quarry, try to stay within 30 meters of this move mark so you can proxy it. Just need 2 people within 30 meters.
Potential Logi south of Crucible.
North fob.
And so begins the most frustrating part of this match. You just heard me briefly explain the concept of a stealth proxy to the blueberries in my squad. Now obviously you can tell from some of the stuff they said earlier that they're quite new, and I think if I really want them to manage it, I'm going to have to explain it in a bit more detail. However, right now I'm worried about my end of things, and as I mentioned, we need to be taking care of those Vics, which Pink just managed to pop one, but he no longer has ammo to pop the second one. And I need to be attempting to take care of that southeastern fob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run and grab my Logi, and I'm going to attempt to accomplish both of those things, plus get another spawn created on the western end of quarry so we can completely encircle it, get complete coverage over all of the windows from all of the hills and completely embed them in there, and we can get ammo there so that Pink can start working on BTRs, and by the time I actually manage to get there, I will certainly have my drone ready, and then I can go airstrike the external fob, or not airstrike, but mortar strike the external fob with the irregular drone. Now I'm going to cut ahead to when all of this starts happening. Unfortunately, I am not able to save the eastern fob. We keep it active for a considerable amount of time, and people push from the north and the east simultaneously for a considerable amount of time, but they aren't really able to make any progress with the people constantly pushing the eastern fob, so in the end it does get proxied and destroyed. However, I am simultaneously building the western fob, and so we once again maintain our 2-to-1 spawn advantage and our ability to push people into quarry, as long as I take care of that southeastern fob and make sure that people aren't getting onto the hills to kind of counter snipe us there and work against us. So I'm still working on maintaining the fob advantage, and I will once again get the fob advantage. Now at the exact same time, a blueberry squad is going to dive bomb again into quarry and largely survive and temporarily hold a proxy. So we are once again going to be in pristine position where we have not just a spawn advantage but current internal proxiers and complete control of the outside area. We're probably going to have to be the stealth proxy, Pink, after I mortar the other fob. Now notice how once again I have briefly, in transit here, told my blueberries how a stealth proxy is done, but I have not gone into detail and I have not pushed it. And what I've done instead is talk to my clan member Pink about how we are probably going to have to be the stealth proxiers, because that is easier for me to accomplish. And it's something that's going to be fairly easy for us to do, but it's something that most pup teams probably aren't able to accomplish on their own. Now moving ahead to when the mortars finally fully delete this hab to the southeast, you can see that our northern fob gets proxied and destroyed. And this is the result of an enemy SL doing the smart thing and attempting to build another external spawn while they're getting pushed in at quarry. At the time, I don't know this, I just assume that we are massively losing the microgame and they are managing to not just withhold us on the west end, but push north out of the compound and simultaneously take out our north spawn. I feel like this is the perfect demonstration of the two different play styles of my team and the enemy's team here. I have been consistently trying to gain the spawn advantage, and I have managed to accomplish the spawn advantage a couple of times over the course of this match and give us every opportunity to get into quarry. However, every time people get up against the flag, they are failing in the microgame department and not actually able to take that internal fob. Now when I finally managed to get everything almost perfect and managed to really get the full encirclement so that I can start working on prioritizing the microgame and pushing with my people and trying to get that stealth proxy, an enemy squad counters me by making another good macro play, and now their macro game is pretty much just as good as mine. I'm struggling to do everything at once. I'm struggling to get up as many fobs as I would like at any given moment while also having to simultaneously deal with commander assets, and meanwhile they're taking the opportunity to attempt to expand their spawn network and basically putting us at a neutral position against each other. So now I'm not just in a situation where I'm trying to compensate for micro with macro, I'm in a situation where my macro is being countered and my micro is just significantly worse overall. So essentially what I need to do now is one last final ditch effort to take over quarry, and I falsely assume at this point, as I mentioned earlier, that they actually did not get another spawn up north, and that's not how they managed to take out our spawn, but instead that they were just pushing directly out of the building itself and managing to overwhelm us with significantly better shooting. So what I do is I decide, fuck this, I'm going to get on that hab that I'm already at, I'm going to throw as many smokes as I can, and I'm going to attempt a stealth proxy with somebody who knows what they're doing, so that we can finally take out this internal fob. On my way back, I remember that I have a drone right now, and somebody in my squad has Sapper Kit, so I ask him if he has an IED, but then I get shot down right then. So this is basically it for me. One final effort. We're running low on tickets, the defense objective is getting a little bit sketchy, and I can't get around the north or the south side anymore. It's way too hot, so there's no way for me to build an eastern fob and do this in a stealthy fashion. I'm just going to do my best to get the smokes out so that people can actually push.
Like, each of you was very supportive.
Or something to start hammering them.
Yeah, mortars would be really helpful.
Yeah, we can get mortars set up.
I think there's a scout car here. 300 meter shot, but 100% accurate mark.
Shit to roll all the way back here.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can see radio real quick.
Radio.
I'm respawning. I think this is a market.
We're short 9-man squad.
It was only like not even.
You guys are all.
That's weird.
Let's spawn Crucible. We're gonna go defensive. We have 50 tickets left. Watch your ticket counts. If you can dig up our radio at Quarry, go ahead.
Well, fucking, it's probably
We're going defensive.
Hilltop or whatever it is. It's fucking everything.
If you're dead, just spawn Crucible and be very careful with tickets. Don't give up, stay near medics. If you're alive, try to remove our habs so they don't get the 10 tickets for that. And so here it is, the admission of defeat. I was not able to take this flag, and ultimately that was a result of the microgame. Now the big question that this brings up is how could you have done better? How can you improve from here? And this is the thing that is very challenging for these kind of games, because you have to look at it from an entirely different perspective. For example, take the enemy team right now. Assume they only have their internal quarry fob, but then they also have that vehicle to the east. They have people on the high ground there who are still surviving from that southeast fob after I blew it up. And they are managing to just farm the absolute shit out of our less experienced players coming down the hill. Would it be wise for me to do the same in reverse? Because I could have just worked off of a single western fob that entire match and then attempted to get fire superiority. This is how a lot of newer or just more sensationalist SLs envision good squad leading. If I was there with mortars 50 meters back dropping perfect smoke screens while a Vic was on the hill to my left just massacring people while having infantry practicing bounding Overwatch to get to that wall, it would have been a spectacle, and it would have been something that somebody would look at and really think I had my shit together. But in the end of the day, let's not forget what I managed to do for the team and where I managed to get them in conjunction with that Blueberry squad that bum rushed the objective a couple times. We had it locked. We had everything under control temporarily and just had to make that final push into a building in CQB while holding a stealth proxy, and the team was not capable of that. And as the game ends, you're going to see that massive KD difference between the teams, and you're just going to see the level of microplay that we didn't have to work with. When you try to, as a leader, put yourself into a position where you're trying to influence that, you're always going to be overestimating how much you're actually going to be able to do. Whereas myself, plus a Logi, plus another person, is a tried and true format that I use from match to match regardless of what's going on, that will in a majority of situations manage to compensate for any level of microplay. In the end of the day, it takes a big combination of events to really halt me in my tracks, such as a linear map like Mestia, with defenders who are aware of my flanks and managing to obstruct them, another SL who's also working towards broadening a spawn network while I'm also working on mine, plus a massive difference in microgame capability. But this is generally what most of my losses in the game look like. Either having a minor ticket advantage from capturing a mid and holding it all game and then losing off of KD and radios, or having a minor ticket disadvantage, or just being unable to gain any sort of objective advantage due to playing a more linear map. Anyway, since making the call to go defensive, I tried to get people to remove our radio, but that didn't work, so we are going to lose 3 radios on offense total to 1 taken down, so minus 20. And then I'm not really having people shift spawns over to help unless they're already dead. I'm trying to get people to bleed out as long as possible in the hopes that we have some kind of ticket advantage somewhere else and we can maybe pull a win out.
We've killed a lot of their Vics though.
My radio will bleed out for the last 10. If people want to give up first.
I'm looking for the radio for this fob of theirs, but I can't find it.
guessing people will actually die before that radio's out. They're not on it yet. They're just on the hub. It'll probably be like a 30 ticket game, would be my guess.
It's just flat KD, yeah.
I just couldn't fucking take quarry. We had all the spawns wiped, 2 squads pinching it, but people were just pushing, not holding the stealth proxy. They embedded like a tick, and it actually worked for once. Kind of wish I was there, but I also had to get the spawn advantage because they were building spawns just as quick as I could.
Are we capping back?
It doesn't
But
matter.
we don't.
If we get it in time.
Be decisive. No, we already own that objective. It's not a ticket buff.
Oh shit.
I just let out 1 ticket. I don't know, 30 tickets?
I'm burning the radio.
It won't burn before ours burns, I think.
Yeah.
Or before we get one guy giving up.
Damn.
Nobody give up. 70. Christ.
We lost some KD.
That was fun though. So close.
Better.
Let's see what the KD difference is.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that was really bad.
Oh man.
I knew I had hella.
299 to 243.
Regular fucking militia forces.
So it's 10 tickets on miscellaneous, like radios.
Wait, what is it?
Oh,
That's
the
a
chat
squad
very
2.
squad.
Most of it was squad 2, yeah.
So always a disappointing game when you lose while doing CMD. It's one of those things that seems like it should always be an easy win. You're just taking all of the leadership of a team and going against blueberries with basically scrim strats. It always feels like your understanding of the game and your level of coordination is going to equal an easy victory, but you just can't forget that you are rolling the dice. You are taking a random team. And in this particular instance, we decided specifically to join the team that was losing quite heavily to us previously. But this should go to show you why CMD isn't necessarily this drastically overpowered thing. We are working with what we have and we are attempting to do good with it, but it still is only as good as your average player, really. You can put them all into the right places at the right time, but when you get onto a smaller map like Mestia, where most of the enemy team, even by accident, can tend to be at the right place at the right time because of the linear and small nature of the map, you're really working an uphill battle if you have to deal with a team that is on average going to be doing worse than the other one. If you want the actual numbers, you can just subtract the deaths for the KD difference, and then our objective bonus was plus 20 for having the mid. It was neutral off start, so that's all we get, and it wasn't recaptured or anything at the end there. And the minus 10 tickets means that it was my radio that ended the game, which means I lost a total of 3 radios compared to the 1 radio that we took down from the enemy team, meaning that 20 tickets was pretty much just wasted on my offense anyway when I was unable to capture it.